Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new mod, Hunter Munitions, that was added into the game with the Operation Plague Star event. You were able to pick this mod up by killing the Lephantis reskin, known as the Hemocyte, just by, putting the infested catalyst into the little mixture before you go ahead and transport it over to the big boil. But the event is over now. It was a relatively boring event in my opinion, but Hunter Munitions was the one good thing, at least in my opinion, alongside all the infested saw parts and the fact that you could buy built forma and stuff like that from the vendor there. That was pretty cool. But Hunter Munitions really steals the show whenever it comes to mods that was dropped from the event. So I wanted to demonstrate it because it's very useful on like high crit chance, low status chance weapons, because what the mod basically does, if we go ahead and we read the description, is it gives you 30% chance to apply a slash status effect to an enemy on a crit hit. So whenever you take into consideration that there's weapons in the game like the Dread, which have over 100% crit chance, you have the Soma, which is a high fire rate, high crit chance weapon, so you have 75% crit chance, you have 200 rounds in a magazine, and a very fast fire rate, about 15-20 rounds a second, I believe. It's an absolutely insane mod to just shred through enemies' health, not necessarily their armor, but their health, because you're going to be applying those bleed effects, those slash procs, which is going to be eating their health through their armor. And you could also mod for status chance in terms of like viral damage, right? So you'd throw on malignant force and then rhyme rounds. This would give you viral damage, which will reduce the enemy's total HP whenever it does proc. So like on the Dread here, we have 66.8% chance to proc this status effect right here, so the viral, because it's our most dominant damage type. And then we have the plus 30% chance to apply a slash proc on our crits, which we're going to be procking 125% off the time. So on top of that, you also have your crit damage, which you're going to get from Vital Sense Point Strike, which is pretty good. Well, Point Strike is your crit chance, Vital Sense is your crit damage, and then obviously Serration Split Chamber for the main damage of all your different stuff on the weapon. And then you can basically throw on anything here in terms of fire rate. So I use Vital Acceleration so I can get my shots off quicker, which will in turn up my DPS, even though I know it gives minus 15% damage. But, that's, in my opinion, I think that just having that faster fire rate, if you're able to hit your headshots consistently, it's going to up your DPS even more. So just to kind of demonstrate, I'm going to swap over to Haro, because Haro is very good at holding enemies still and making it so you can hit those constant headshots and keep up that high DPS, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and change all the colors of my weapons here just for consistency's sake and show you how insane this actually is versus armored targets. So keep in mind, we're modding for viral damage, so we're not going to get like a percentage bonus versus the heavy gun or anything like that. We are going to get an increase to your damage because we're modding for viral, of course, so just adding flat damage to your weapons, but we're not getting any percentage increase on top of that. So the damage that you're going to see here is being dealt mainly by the slash procs and the fact that we're reducing enemies' maximum health with the viral procs as well. So bomb one guy in, let's make him level 150, like so. There we go. Exit this, go to simulate, and I'm not going to use any abilities to kind of buff ourselves up. I'm just going to hold the enemy still and hit him consistently in the head with my Dread here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll pick up. So you can see the fact that his health is kind of just, he's completely gone. Level 150. If you were modding for just corrosive damage and you were just shooting at him in the head, it would take a lot longer, right? Because you'd be throwing on your 90% elemental mods and you'd be relying on those high numbers to kind of take the enemy down. Like, which is totally fine. For a newer player, that's a fine way to take down enemies, but whenever it comes to enemies who have a lot of armor and there's no way to sort of strip that armor away, status chance is usually the better option to mod for, because you want to, either eat at their health through their armor or completely remove the armor, like, from the equation, So you're either running 4 times corrosive projection, which will allow you to mod for your 90% status, or 90% elemental mods, which will give you higher numbers, and then, status chance in the background of that as like a little benefit. Or you just use status to completely bypass the fact that the enemy has armor and remove those sort of like, I guess, like resistances, So it's kind of like cheating the system in terms of the armor scaling, right? Because you're completely ignoring it with the way that viral and slash procs works. So yeah, you can throw this on pretty much any high crit, low status chance weapon, and you'll do absolutely fine. So there's other ways to mod for it, don't get me wrong. So let's say if we take a look at the Soma, for example, there's so many different ways that you could mod for it. So let's just go ahead and remove everything from my Soma here. go ahead, go to upgrade, and go to our V's, go to our Serration, if we type that in, get our heavy caliber next, because this is usually how I teach people in the mod if they're just getting new to the game or getting started, is I show this is your free main damage mods, and then you move on to your crit. So this is how I kind of break it down. Point strike, vital sense, like so, and then we move on to your 90% elemental mods, because that gives us the percentage increase. In this case, we're going to be using 90% dual status mods, so we're going to use Malignant Force, and we're going to use Rhyme Runs, because keep in mind it has to be viral damage. If it's not viral damage, this isn't going to work. And then you have your spare slot to throw on your Hunter Munitions, right? So we go and we would type that in, Hunter Munitions. Whoops, I did the wrong thing there. I don't know what I did, but go ahead, type it in. There we go. And this is your Hunter Munitions. So you could replace heavy caliber with Hunter Munitions and then throw on like a Prime Being a Grenier. But just to show you how this kind of works with the Soma with this type of build, let's just go ahead and simulate and hold this guy still. Because we have heavy caliber on, it's going to add like a bunch of RNG to our bullets, I guess, whenever it comes to shooting the Soma. So we might not hit every single bullet in the headshot, which could decrease our DPS, but, you know, it's just down to the type of player you are. Some people who just want to like jump in front of an enemy's face and kind of just kill him. They want to go for heavy caliber because they get more damage and stuff like that. Some people who like to DPS, sustain DPS a single target, we want to opt for the more accurate, not having heavy caliber on type of thing. So let's just go ahead, and I actually need to get more energy to keep him still. So we'll reset his health there, just to make sure that we're you know, accurate demonstration, I guess. So go ahead, CC him like so. Doing nothing but headshots here. And you'll see that all these slash procs are getting applied. We get the viral procs. And this guy will die pretty much in the same amount of bullets that he would die in if you were modding with like 90% elemental mods and like Prime Bane of Grenier or whatever. So, you know, there's that build, or you can swap it around and do it like this. So I would take off heavy caliber, put 100 munitions there, move point strike into here, and then go for Prime Bane off and whatever faction it is, or you could even go with Prime Shred, that works too. But put Prime Bane of Corrupted on there. Over here, simulate this guy again. Let's test it out. Go for nothing but headshots, and because we're going to be hitting every single bullet in the head, you should see a decent increase in damage. Now, of course, you know, the numbers aren't as high, but because you're hitting every single bullet on the head, you're getting those crits, you're getting the 8 times more damage on the headshot. It's insane. So, you know, they're going to die a lot faster. You died a lot faster with that build we have on. Let's just go ahead and test this out again with, like, Prime Shred or something, if you want to use that. So, instead of using Prime Bane of Corrupted, let's use Prime Shred, if we can type it in. Here we go. You can use regular Shred as well. Totally fine, too. Go ahead, spawn this guy in, simulate. Jump down here. Hold him still. Get the headshots. Of course, you're not hitting super high numbers, but you're getting all those slash procs off super fast as well. Not to mention, you're going to be able to shoot through the enemy. Took a lot more bullets, but, you know, it's because we were constantly DPSing him. So I wouldn't really recommend Prime Shred too much. You can use it. It is an option, but I don't know. Having that Prime Bane Corrupted to have that multiplicative increase to your damage, to me, that just makes more sense. So this would be the type of build. Elmo, please. Someone just subscribed in Twitch. Love it. You know what? I'm not even gonna edit that out. Yeah, just let's keep it there. Yeah, that's my sub sign on Twitch, twitch.tv/iFlynn. My schedule's down in the description below. Just want to plug that there. But yeah, so as I was saying, this would be the type of build that I would be using if I was playing just casually. You know, if I was playing, I was jumping into groups with random people. I didn't know if they're gonna have corrosive projection on. This is the build that I'm gonna use from now on whenever it comes to just casual playing. But yeah, you can basically just replicate this build on any single crit weapon that you have. So let's say, you know, we go for the Baza, right? New introduction into the game. Go to upgrade. We basically have the same thing, okay? But you want to replace that Infected Clip and Stormbringer with the dual stat elemental Malignant Force and then Rhyme Rounds. And then that would basically be that. Get your energy up. Spawn the guy in. Like so. We're going to hold him still. Like so. We're going to shoot him in the head. Of course, it's not as good as the Soma. but you can see the viral and slash procs kind of coming into effect. We killed that guy in 2 magazines. Pretty insane. Remember, this is a level 150 heavy gunner here who has a lot of scaling health and armor. So it's pretty insane how fast we're killing him. So you can do that with like basically any other weapon. Let's see if we have Prismatic Kata, if I can throw that build on there. But you do remove that. We go remove that as well. Prime being off corrupted. And then we get our Hunter Munitions. Let's go ahead, type it in. Hunter Munitions, throw that on. Yep, that's pretty much right. Take those off. Go ahead, close that. Got our Geostat Elementals. And I don't think I'll actually be able to fit this one on. But what I could do is I could take that off. I could go with Rhyme Rounds. See? Rhyme Rounds, throw that there. And then I could go for Infected Clip and still get similar results. Okay, this is just because I haven't formatted this one as much as I formatted the Sova. Usually I'd have like an extra V polarity in, and it would allow me to like fit the entire building. So you need to have about minimum 5 V polarities on your weapon to sort of like, you know, make it so this build works. And then you'd have like your 2 dash polarities if you want to run your 90% builds, like if you're running a full team of Cruiser Projection. And then like you'd have your you could you could basically run your Geostat Elemental mods in place of where you'd throw your 90% mods, right? So this build will give you similar results. Obviously, we'll lack a little bit of DPS or, you know, killing potential because we don't have 2 Geostat Elementals on, but, you know, and that and Viral might not proc as often as we'd like, but, you know, you're going to get similar results anyway, so let's just go ahead and shoot this guy in the head. Of course, it's a little bit harder to manage because the Prismatic Kata is just one of those weapons that, like, you know, you gotta manage the recoil, but you'll see this guy just kind of drops dead now. So you don't even have to, like, keep on shooting the enemy. He's just gonna die because of those slash procs and stuff. So it's kind of insane, you know? I definitely recommend, like, trying out this type of build. Like, you can even throw Hunter Munitions on something like the Vacor Heck, right? So let's see if we can throw it on somewhere. I have Hunter Munitions on. All you'd have to do is take off Contagious Spread and stuff, and then throw on the Geostat Elementals for your shotgun. So let's see, Shell Shock, and I don't think I'll be able to fit that on actually. I'd have to throw on another 90% instead. So you can get pretty much similar results. And keep in mind, like, we're dealing damage to these enemies without having to use any abilities. Once you add abilities into the mix, you're going to be getting to, like, you know, insane DPS territory. So I just made corrosive damage. Okay, didn't mean to do that, but still stands. That guy died super quick. Super quick. That's an insane amount of damage right there. But if we were to throw on viral damage, like, more or less similar results. So I need to throw on here, thingamajig. What's it called? I forget what it's called for shotguns. Frigid Blast, that's it. Let's just go ahead and throw that on. Simulate this guy. Hold him still, like so. And then you get slash procs and the viral procs, and he'll just die. Same way he died last time, but, you know, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy. Crazy damage. Definitely recommend picking up, you know. So, yeah, that is pretty much it for Hunter Munitions. You could use it on the Dex Sybaris. You could use it on the Sybaris Prime. It's really interesting in the Sybaris Prime as well. I kind of want to just use it here. Give me 1 second. I want to test this out. So let's remove that. Let's get Hunter Munitions. Here we go. Throw that on there. Prime being of Grenier. Nope, we need to swap that out for Prime being a Corrupted. Let's see. There we go. And then we throw on our Geostat Elementals. Get those. Go. And Rhyme Rounds. Whoop. Go. This is on the Dex Sybaris, remember? Not the Sybaris Prime. This is an anniversary weapon if you guys don't have this or if you've never seen it before. To get those consistent headshots, and you'll notice slash procs and stuff coming into play. The viral damage will kick in whenever you actually proc it, but we don't think we got any viral damage to proc there, which was kind of unfortunate, but that's just because it has a low status chance. It's a lot more effective in the Sybaris Prime. So I think I still have the build on. See? Yep, I do. So I wasn't, again, I haven't formed this completely. I need to throw on another V polarity on here to make it work. But, you know, same thing still stands. Go ahead, spawn this guy in. And do this. And then we go shoot him in the head. And you're going to see all the slash procs. No viral proc. There we go. There's the viral. You're going to see his health just kind of die. Just gonna die. He's dead. Done and dusted. But yeah, you can throw in, you know, Warframe abilities, and then these guys will die even faster. And that's the reason I'm using Haro, because Haro is made around fire rate, like, and you know, so you use your 2, you speed up your reload speed and your fire rate, which means you're gonna proc things more effectively. You're just gonna like dish out a ton of DPS, like so. The guy's gonna die insanely quickly, and then you can up your crit chance as well by 50%, which is going to again up your DPS because you're gonna be procking more crits, and more crits means more status or slash procs, and you know, more DPS or more fire rate means then more viral procs and insane. So let's just test out into the Soma. Soma has 75% crit chance with point strike on, and we're gonna use Haro to take damage and you know, make it so this has over 100% crit chance, and this guy is gonna die super fast. So what we're gonna do first, jump in front of him, use our 4, wait for the 4's invulnerability stage to go down, right? Then you're gonna use your 1, you're gonna use your 2, and you're gonna hit nothing but headshots, and he's gone. it's insane. And you can use that for any weapon in the game. Any crit weapon, you can do the same for the Dread. So let's go ahead and do the same with the Dread. Because the Dread's, it's super fun in the Dread because like the fire rate's that fast, you can't keep up like at all. It's insane. I love it. So let's just go ahead, do the thing, simulate. I need energy again. Derp, derp. This is all about like single target sustained DPS, just getting that enemy that you need dead type of thing. So kind of insane. Take all of our damage. Thank you. Use our 1. Use our 2. Now check this out. Insane, right? Insane. Couple arrows. Level 150 heavy gunner dead. So yeah, use Warframe abilities. Use Nova Zen Prime. Use Banshee Sonar. You know, reduce enemy armor with Ash's Shuriken. There's so much stuff you can do. Bring Mirage in. You're gonna get higher status chance with Mirage because you're gonna be shooting more. Well, there's gonna be more, you know, more clones off you. There's so much stuff that you could do. It's just insane. It's crazy. Like there's no reason for this to, like, I don't know if they're gonna change it, but I don't think they will change it. It's not as if it's a super balanced game anyway. But, you know, if you're hitting your procs effectively, then these guys will just kind of die. So, crazy. Absolutely insane. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.